Your Voice, Shropshire Disability Network Newsletter, July 2011. The Fonz is back for another spell as a top performer. Hands up all those who remember the Fonz from Happy Days, way back in the 1970s. Not long ago, actor Henry Winkler, aka the Fonz, appeared on BBC Radio 4 to chat with midweek presenter Libby Purves about dyslexia, of which he's a serious sufferer. Winkler said he hadn't read a novel until he reached his 30s due to feeling intimidated by all those words inside the covers. He is now the author of a 17-book series about Hank Zipser, who he says is modelled on himself. He said, "They're funny books that happen to be about a kid with learning challenges, and it turns out that reluctant readers read one and then read 5 because they identify." He received an OBE earlier this year in recognition of his work on the My Way campaign, and he tells children, "Just because we learn differently, that does not mean that we are not incredibly smart human beings. That's something I need every child to understand." Fast show comedian Simon Day also appeared on the Libby Purves programme and talked about growing up with attention deficit disorder and an addictive personality. This has been taken from the BBC disability blog Ouch, The Fonz Talks Dyslexia on Radio 4. Giving by text on your mobile. The Vodafone Foundation has joined forces with Just Giving to kickstart a new era of giving with the launch of Just Text Giving by Vodafone. Charities and individuals can raise money using text messages with a service that's free to set up and run. Every penny donated goes to charity. Just Text Giving by Vodafone enables charities to personalise their own unique six-digit text code called a VIC, or Vodafone Individual Code, and receive donations of up to £10 by text message. Registered charities and individual fundraisers can now set up their codes. Full details are available at www.justtextgiving.co.uk. This has been taken from the Shropshire Infrastructure Partnership newsletter from the 31st of May. My Learning Pool. My Learning Pool is the online training resource for community and voluntary groups, small charities, social enterprises, and all those individuals involved in civil society. It gives those who offer their time to their community access to cost-effective training to grow their knowledge and therefore the impact they make. For more information you can see www.mylearningpool.com. Bernardo's new service for disabled children. Connect is a new inclusion service run by Bernardo's in partnership with Shropshire Council, and it's looking for help. The service provides short-term support for children and young people with disabilities or additional needs to enable them to enjoy leisure and recreational activities. Volunteers are needed who have some experience of supporting children and young people. They also need to have their own transport and be able to offer a regular, preferably weekly commitment, mainly in the evenings or at weekends. The commitment would last until April 2012. To find out more, please contact the Project Office for details of the next drop-in volunteering information sessions to be held at Bernardo's Shropshire Project, 1 Darwin Court, Oxon Business Park, Shrewsbury. The telephone number is 01743 248 094, or you can email shropshire.project@bernardos.org.uk. Attendance at a drop-in event does not commit you in any way. That's Not My Name. The learning disabled punk band, Heavy Load, released a single to mark Learning Disability Week. It's a cover of That's Not My Name by the Ting Tings. The lyrics have been modified slightly to reflect the verbal abuse and name-calling that people with learning difficulties regularly face. Using their trademark challenging shoutiness, they belt out the chorus at top volume. They call me Crip, they call me retard, they call me spaz, they call me special. That's not my name. That's not my name. That's not my name. That's not my name. New service launched for adult social care info. A new service has been launched for people wanting to find out about adult social care in Shropshire. Now they are advised to phone a new number 0345 678 9044. A team of specially trained advisors will answer these calls in Shropshire Council's Customer Service Centre and, as appropriate, will complete an assessment form with the customer over the phone. The advisor will be able to establish if the customer may be eligible for social care support by asking specific questions including health, mobility and social issues. The benefits of this new process will include a quicker decision, greater accessibility, the Customer Service Centre opens extended working hours, and consistency of service for Shropshire. Advisors are already taking applications for blue badges, concessionary travel, welfare benefits, cheques, etc., and they'll be able to support customers by helping them access other services. Part of the role of the advisors will be to signpost customers to external partners and organisations who may be able to offer support in other ways, with advisors whenever feasible offering the customer information and other types of support if it appears that they will not qualify for social care support. The team at Shropshire Council would welcome input from voluntary sector assembly members, in particular any comments and suggestions about how the signposting element could be further developed. Please contact Sarah Dodds at sarah.dodds@shropshire.gov.uk or telephone 01743 252 740. Charities on knife edge as surpluses drop 60%. The Charities Aid Foundation reports that charities' surpluses dropped by 60% between 2007 and 2009, demonstrating that many charities are now operating on a financial knife edge with little room to breathe. Analysis of charities' annual returns on CAF's recently launched website, Charity Trends, shows that registered charities in England and Wales had on average £24,507 of surplus in 2007, compared to £10,240 in 2009, which is the last year with complete data. Overall, these charities' total surplus dropped from £3.59 billion in 2007 to £1.45 billion in 2009. Adjusted for inflation, this total is even less than that recorded for 2002. CAF defines surplus as total income minus total expenditure. Colin Walton, head of charities at the Charities Aid Foundation, said our analysis shows just how difficult the last few years have been for charities financially. The fall in surpluses makes things extremely difficult for charities, as it means less to invest in their organisation and staff, less opportunities to expand their services, and less to put aside into reserves. Charities have always had to work efficiently, but the situation over the last 2 to 3 years has meant more and more charities are working on a financial knife edge. This has been taken from UK Fundraising, the website www.charitytrends.org/insightful.aspx. Public urged not to back 4 major charities. Animal rights group criticises research links. Cancer Research UK, the British Heart Foundation, Parkinson's UK and the Alzheimer's Society are accused of funding animal experiments by Animal Aid. Animal Aid plans to place advertisements in national newspapers calling on the public to stop donating to 4 major medical research charities until they pledge to end their funding of animal experiments. The animal welfare organisation will ask the public to withhold all financial support from Cancer Research UK, the British Heart Foundation, Parkinson's UK and the Alzheimer's Society until they give such assurances. The Victims of Charity report from Animal Aid alleges that charity-funded medical researchers have deliberately damaged monkeys' brains with toxic chemicals and slowly and systematically destroyed dogs' hearts. It also claims that researchers have tormented mice in water mazes, injected them with cancerous tissue, and used animals that have been subjected to specialist breeding programs that left them weakened, disease-prone and mentally deranged. The report says the organisation's experts have assessed scientific reviews in specialist journals and concluded that animal-based research into cancer, dementia, heart disease and Parkinson's has been a wasteful and futile quest. The campaign will be backed by a series of national newspaper advertisements, as well as a campaign postcards that the public will be asked to fill in and send to the chief executives of the 4 organisations. Andrew Tyler, Director of Animal Aid, said, "The British public do not like the idea of animals enduring great suffering to no purpose, and Victims of Charity urges that this is precisely what's happening. Our high-profile campaign will put the charities under a great deal of pressure to rethink their research strategy." A Cancer Research UK statement said that research using animals was an unavoidable part of our efforts to beat cancer. It's a legal requirement in this country that all new drugs, not just cancer drugs, are tested on animals before they're given to patients to make sure they're safe to use, it said. In a perfect world, animal research wouldn't be necessary. But cancer kills over 400 people every day in the UK, and all our work is aimed at reducing this death toll. Peter Hollins, Chief Executive of the British Heart Foundation, said many adults and children were only alive today thanks to the pioneering treatments that wouldn't have succeeded without involving animals. It's not a decision taken lightly, but there is sometimes simply no alternative, he said. Funding applications go through a rigorous review, and we will always actively encourage the use of alternative research methods. If this type of research is absolutely necessary, we demand the highest standards of welfare and follow strict Home Office guidelines. A Parkinson's UK statement said, "A small but vital part of our research involves the use of animals. This is rigorously controlled by UK legislation and closely monitored by Home Office inspectors." It added that, as a member of the Association of Medical Research Charities, Parkinson's UK is committed to reducing the number of animals used in experiments, replacing their use with alternative methods where possible, and refining techniques to maximise welfare. Jeremy Hughes, Chief Executive of the Alzheimer's Society, said funding research was an essential part of the charity's work. "The majority of our research programme does not involve animals, and where there is no alternative we use only maggots, fruit flies, mice and rats," he said. "Our researchers are bound by animal welfare rules, which are the strictest in the world." This has been taken from the Third Sector, www.thirdsector.co.uk.